These first few shows are what we would refer to as the basic building blocks to maneuvering within the new energies that are streaming into our world. So we believe it is important to hear them all. Go to our website, thelifting2017.wixsite.com/thelifting. And Chris has now added a tab to our website called The Lifting Episodes. You can go there to hear any of the previous episodes. Chris's goal is to try and have these new episodes posted there within 24 hours after it is recorded. I'd like to also announce that we've just begun a series of chats referred to as the Lifting Interviews. These are pre-recorded chats with individuals and their journeys into these new energies, including memories and different experiences that they are having. We had posted one of them already just today. You can see it under the new video tab. Discuss wanted to discuss her involvement in My Lab and the Secret Space program. So check it out there. It's a very good discussion, and we're quite proud of that initial interview. So I'm happy to report, with a sum total of 2 under his belt, that Chris is currently 100% compliant with the task of getting these up quickly. So yay for Chris. Okay, so a few additional notes. Chris has made a few more improvements to the website. As I just mentioned, he added the new tab called New Videos, and the current tab that was up there has been renamed to Video Library. What we'll do is new videos we're going to put in that section. They'll be there for about a month, and then they'll be slid over to that Video Library section. He has also added a tab for revocation warrants and audits. Feel free to go in and use any of those. He will soon add one called Guest Appearances. Once the Guest Appearances tab is up, we encourage you to listen to the different shows he has appeared on. Currently, he is appearing regularly on several different shows, and by listening to them, you may find just a general interest in listening to other shows that these hosts have. And we really want to build this community of like-minded people, so we really encourage you to check it all out. Currently, right now, everybody is on mute. If you want to ask a question regarding today's topic, we will take them at the end of the show. You can hit *6 at any time to be put in the question queue. So for now, that's all I have to say as an introduction, and I'm going to turn it over to Chris.
All right, thank you, Joanna. So hopefully all of you have had a chance to read the blog about discernment. Next to protection, discernment is a skill that we all need to build in order to have experiences in the new frequencies that are more positive and fulfilling, assuming that is the experience that you want. We came in pre-programmed with this skill to actually feel the process, the many stimulus around us to gain an understanding. Then once here, to put it bluntly, it is usually pretty beaten out of you, and then you ignore it. So today, we want to begin the discussion of the importance of discernment and how to start the process of relearning and enhancing this all-important skill. But first, I want to ask Joanna to please bless our gathering.
Okay. So the blessing that I offer you today is a bit longer than the one that was first given last week. It comes from a channeled book series called The Law of One. It is the Law of One prayer, but I added a bit to it to kind of make it my own. So what I'd like you to do is kind of take a deep breath. I want you to just close your eyes for a second. And I really want you to try and hear and feel what I have to say. And again, this is my version of the Law of One prayer. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, that only the highest good happen for all who are here. I pray for you, your friends, your family. Let the healing energies in. Let them love you and nourish you and bring you to your highest good. I pray for me, my friends, and my family to let the healing energies in. Let them love us and nourish us and bring us to our highest good. So be it, and I am so grateful that this is done. Now on to the discussion for the day. Back to you, Chris.
All right, Joanna, that was a beautiful blessing this evening. Now on to our main topic. I hope, again, everyone got a chance to go and read the blog. It made some interesting points about how to discern in your own life and how there is intentional as well as unintentional conditioning that takes place within our very own society. I would like to expand on a discernment issue that has come up multiple times, not only within some of my reads, but online as well. It is about how to discern whether or not a channeler or seer is channeling the being they say that they are. People are under the notion that such beings such as Jesus Christ and Michael, also known as Archangel Michael, are far too powerful to be mimicked, or that they would never allow such a thing to take place. It is my understanding that this is simply false. A year or two back, there was a heavily circulated channeling reported to have been given by Archangel Michael. It had all the bells and whistles of what one would think was from a divine being, quote-unquote, including the ascension into energy forms in 4D. Though I am not going to name this channeler, I will now tell you what Michael himself told me. As I read this channeling, Michael entered the room. He asked me to read a little further and then asked me if I knew what was wrong or incorrect about the channeling supposedly penned by him. One thing was a glaring mistake. At any time, if you are a channeler and you receive a message from any being using the prefix Archangel, Master, Lord, or any variation of those, you automatically have a fake. This goes for saint as well. When I said this to him, he congratulated me, and then asked what else was wrong. I said the ascension into 4D part. He said yes to that as well, and asked me why I thought it was false. I said that flesh and blood can exist in the higher densities, as well as turning into energy is not a prerequisite for quote-unquote ascending. He said, "Very good," he told me, and then left the room. You may be asking yourself at this very moment in time, but Chris, how did you know that this was really Michael? I will tell you this. I could feel his truth, his wisdom, his energy, as well as used my intuition. I could feel down to my very being that this was him, without a doubt. No questioning. I think it was him, and had that pull towards him. Not the archetypal version everyone thinks or feels they know as him, but the true, real, authentic him. This leads me to the difference between what is one's own perception versus what is a lie. Again, I will use Michael as an example. He won't mind at all. In fact, this was his idea to begin with. Many different people have their very own perception point of how an event took place or how a person looks and what they are wearing. Say a police officer had to interview an accident witness. Say this policeman asked each individual person what they saw. Each of them would pick out something slightly different on what their own brain focused on. Say the car in question was red. Was it a sedan, a Buick, a Ford, etc.? Or if their focus was on the person or persons involved, were they hurt, etc.? However, none of them would be wrong. It is just how each of those people would perceive the very same set of information. Now, here is when it is a lie. There are channelers and seers out there that claim they know what Michael looks like. I read one such person that claimed to see him in their dreams and in visions. Not to say that they did not. I tested whether or not they were discerning. I asked the person what they felt Michael looked like. They immediately gave me the quintessential archetypal androgynous description of Michael, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, no-gender version we have all heard of. This is the untruth here. He once told me that he never uses any other form but his own, which is an 8 to 9 foot tall, salt and pepper haired Viking warrior that is a man. He either is seen wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, or seen wearing his gold and silver battle armor adorned with cuneiform script along the edges. That is the ancient Sumerian writing, if anybody is interested. Any other forms seen out there are not him. They are either reptilian, Archon, or Nazi Agarthan tricksters, and a various plethora of other tricksters that are out there. Also, his personality is like that of a sailor or a Navy man. He has a very good sense of humor and will tell you exactly how it is. He holds no punches, and if he is a little miffed with you, you probably did something wrong to begin with. He does indeed tell you to love your neighbor, but he will tell you to defend yourself if you need to as well. He gives messages of hope, but also curses like a sailor. My mother can personally attest to this one. With another channeling that she did, that she had to censor him quite often. So any of the channelings out there of him, quote unquote, saying the aforementioned falsehoods, or of a version of him that is a light being, quote unquote, those are more than likely false and should be avoided. Please do not take this as any criticism toward other channelers. They are having their own experience at their own level of knowledge. Thus, their discernment is at their educational level, as well as inclusion of being given the opportunity for growth by the guides. Sometimes we get it wrong to learn how to get it right. So, where does this leave you? Who do you believe? Well, guess what? You have to discern for yourself. So take my stories of Michael and think about it when you can. How does this make you feel? And just go with it. Joanna, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I think, some of the first things that come to mind for me are just kind of to remind people, if maybe they didn't read the blog or just to kind of reassert some information, that when we say you really are pre-programmed, you really are. And as the blog was saying earlier, it starts very early where people learn to not listen to their inner self anymore. And so, one of the simplicities about the example we gave in the blog was literally about trying to clear your mind and just take in the information and basically see, does it pull you towards it or does it repel you? It's a very simplistic way of the basics of discernment. So take the information that you heard from Chris and again, just discern how does it really make you feel. And discernment itself is really all about just understanding. So we may understand at a certain level at one moment and we may have a more advanced understanding of the same subject at a later moment. And so our discernment earlier is going to potentially change with new knowledge, new information, new abilities, and our perspectives are going to be different later on. That's what the whole journey is about. So I also want to take the time to tell you that when you discern something, it's going to require you to actively listen more, which means actual listening with a quieted mind, and also involves the ability to feel what is being said. So that's hard for people to quiet their minds, but they need to. You need to really be living in that authentic moment in time when you're starting to listen to people, and you shouldn't be trying to pre-formulate a response already to what they're saying. You should really just be letting that information in and keeping the mind quieted. You may not actually realize that you're actually feeling what someone's saying, but you actually are. You're feeling the energy sent in your direction by the conversation, and if it's face to face, you're seeing body language of the person communicating with you. So I specifically ask you to feel the blessing that I gave a bit ago. What did you feel? Was there a ringing of truth that pulled you towards it? Did you feel my prayer for you and your family was sincere or not? Do you believe in the concept of that we're all one? How did that prayer even make you feel? And and then think again about just the conversation Chris was having regarding Michael. And how did it make you feel? Did it ring of truth? Chris said a lot of things in there, even just about the general description of Michael. And that really could throw some people for a loop because it's totally unlike what people have been potentially taught. So if you cannot answer how you feel for yourself, then you should take some time to reflect, because this is a skill that needs to be rebuilt and enhanced. And I have to tell you, we both encourage you to discern absolutely everything, including us. We have been told that there is nothing out there so far that is currently 100% correct. Even the best of things out there apparently have only had it correct about 70 to 80% of the time. So we are left to pick out what parts seem of use to us in our understanding. And being able to do that, now actually picking apart statements to pick out the parts that seem right to you, is really then walking into enhancing your skills of discernment. Because currently, most people are just working on the broader level of whether they believe a person or source is believable. And sometimes that is appropriate. When you discern constant and total deception and choosing that I just don't believe they're ever believable, that's perfectly fine. However, if you settle for for that skill level, then you may be faced with a lot of incongruencies because at times you may not agree with everything. So at the level so at that particular level of that broad stroke of are they believable or not, you kind of set yourself up with a choice. Do I believe everything or do I believe nothing? And I have to tell you that the dark agenda thrives in this kind of thinking. This is how they invade. Because what they'll do is they can provide drips of truth with a lot of disinfo. Sometimes, since some people know that these drips of truth feel correct, they can get you to believe the rest, even though you may feel uncertain about it. Or just the opposite. Since you set your goal at all or nothing, then you may decide to discard everything, the whole. And in fact, well, if this is what you are doing, then you're just kind of setting yourself up for continued disappointment. And you'll find yourself going from one source to another, pretty much feeling pretty unfulfilled. So either of these two paths, the darkness love, and it is our belief that staying at this level of discernment and not moving into an enhanced discernment is really, of course, what the darkness is going to want us to do. But if you change your perspective to one of the individual message and not the person, then you will learn to pick out the kernels of truth for yourself. Your truth is unique, and it's meant to be that way. Our recommendation is to look for common understanding and discern what works for you. Just leave the rest in peace. No need to waste your time and energy trying to come into 100% agreement with anyone or anything. Just search for the messages that fit you and just move on. Also, if you feel you wish to depart information, your truth, that you feel may be helpful to others, like Chris and I are trying to do right now, then make sure you phrase it in a way that reflects that this is your understanding. Be authentic and speak your truth. But make sure people understand that that's what this is, your truth, and they could have a different truth. Do not take on the burden of requiring or expecting others to believe your truth, because all in all, really what you're doing is you're just sharing. So, Chris, that's my truth. So I wonder now what the Galactics think about all of this.
All right, Joanna, that was wonderful. There are a few Galactics that are actually here this evening. Michael being one of them, and my guide and friend Simeon, and another one who does not generally talk on shows outside of the show Understanding Sasquatch. This would be Telnorskis. He is of a tribe known as the Anakim, or as the word translates, that'd be family gathering. He is a Sasquatch elder from Agartha. So I'm going to see which one of these three want to go first. And they're actually raising their hands like they're in a schoolhouse. So okay, they're goofing off at the moment. Who is actually? Okay, it's Michael. Okay, no wonder he's goofing off. Okay, they're kind of hard to see here because there is some energy activity going on here. That's been happening throughout the day today and a little bit from last night. So I'm going to allow Michael to speak through me first. And I'm going to see, is it Simeon that wants to go next after him, and then Telnorskis. Okay, good. Let's see. This should be interesting for Michael because he's extremely outspoken. So if he curses and I don't catch it, I apologize. Let's see. He's coming in slow. Greetings, everyone here in attendance. You know me as Michael, or Mikhail, as I pronounce it myself, but I do not care in the slightest if people call me Michael. None of my people ever get what this one calls as butthurt over names. But I will continue on with what tonight's topic is, and that is one of the most, if not the most, important next to protection. This is discernment. This shows me and my people that our children, our family, know how to differentiate one thing from another. You may ask yourselves, no, I already know how to differentiate one thing from another. This is not necessarily so. This has been proven to myself by people who claim to channel myself. I am purported to be outspoken, as this one has said, and this is what I'm going to do here this evening. He also knows that I hold no punches. His mother knows the same, and has brought me through in the same candor and with the same fire. So, in this, I will say this very sternly, and only once. I, as in Mikhail, do not use such prefixes such as saint, Lord, Master, or Archangel. These were human fabrications. I do not wear such rankings, though in my ancient past I did see myself as above others. When I indeed started my family line, I felt like I was above others because I was of a line that, within my very own society, had certain immunities and certain, as we would say, vibrations within our many clans. Yes, I am of the species you know of as the Anunnaki. This is another fallacy that I wish to say. In the instance where people differentiate between angel and Anunnaki, just know that in your histories, the beings you call angels or messengers or watchers are indeed my people. You call us Anunnaki, We call ourselves Orions. In this particular instance, the species name and the constellation name are one and the same. Anunnaki stands for those from who the heavens came. This was a human name. This was not a name my people gave ourselves. This was a human name that spread throughout the planet like a wildfire, and thusly is used within your modern society. Orion is the proper term, because, as you know in your mythology, Orion the hunter is what the constellation was named for. This was the name that we gave. Also, in respects to other channelers that purport to talk about me, I will say this, and I will be as kindly as I am going to be. In this instance, most of the channelings that you read out there online are not myself. This pains me greatly in a deeply emotional level to have to tell you this, dear humanity. But most of the channelings that you see out there of myself are not myself. Yes, I do go to many, many, many other channelers out there. And I do talk to more than just this one. And dearest Joanna, I'm not saying I have just chosen them to speak through, though they are my dear friends and family. I have chosen to speak through many, but there is equally as many that also speak for a false me, or many false me's, as the case may be. I could go off and rattle names out over and over and over again. I will not do so, but just say, I will say this, humanity, please, and I am begging this, and I don't do this very often, discern for yourselves what is real and what is not. Things in your everyday society are not as real as you believe them to be. Your everyday life that you find yourself encapsulated in. This is a life that, yes, has been fabricated. Yes, I fully acknowledge that. But, I must say this. Please focus on your vibration raising. Please focus on protection. Please focus on discerning the world around you. Yes, there is much evil around you. I and the others fully and completely acknowledge this fact. But we beg of you, raise your vibration with the protection aforementioned, with the discernment aforementioned, and do not hesitate to call on me and the others, but just know that showing your own wisdom is just as important as having the wisdom to call out for help when the time arises. I am Mikhail, and I am the protector of this world along with my soul family, which is quite vast, I might add. Thank you. Oh. All right, he came through quite strong, actually. Oh. All right, I gotta give myself a second before I go into the next one. Oh. All right. The next person who wishes to come through, this should be interesting, is my guide, Simeon. He has been on many of the past shows I have been on. He also is very outspoken when it comes to his own history and when it comes to things like protection and discernment. He has been quite stern towards myself and Joanna and several other people I know, like my mother and my stepfather. And I'm going to see what he has to say on the subject of discernment. Let me see. Ooh. Okay. Give me a second. He comes in a little slower than Michael. And I can hear Michael in the background making fun of him, saying he's always slower. Okay. They do make fun of each other. That's another misconception that's out there. They do bash each other. They do joke with each other. They're not serious all of the time. A couple of them are like court jesters, like Simeon. Greetings, all of you. I am, as this one has said, the court jester known as Simeon. I come up with the strangest of lines according to him. I come up with jokes and puns that this one found quite strange to begin with. I say this line to you, all of you listening tonight, because there are misconceptions about us out there, many and plenty and plentiful misconceptions. We have a sense of humor. We do not, as you say, begrudge anyone making fun or making fun with us or at us. We laugh things off. We shake things off, as you humans would say. We laugh with an exuberance of a child. We do this, and we do not consider anything blasphemous or out of line. The only things that we do not like are the evils of your world, all that go on in the name of God, all in the name of religion, all in the name of politics, and all in the name of just plain ego. Those are the things that, as you say, perturb us the most. We have a sense of humor that some humans lack. I am not saying this out of ego. We are just saying, and I am just saying, that in the case where people think blasphemy is so wrong, like saying the Lord's name in vain, for instance, do you realize how many times we ourselves have taken Jesus' name in vain? Do you realize how many times that we ourselves have sit across the table with the one you know of as Jesus the Christ and have actually pointed at him and laughed with him, at him, for him, and around him? There is no such thing as blasphemy, dear ones. No such thing at all. We must laugh to stay, as you say, sane, because we were involved in one of the worst wars in your galaxy's history. Your sci-fi and fiction shows would call it a time war. It was known to others as the temporal war of attrition. I was there and witnessed many things becoming done and undone and redone and undone again. Who has more the right to laugh in this instance? Not just us. You do, dear humans, you do. In the instance of blasphemy, just know that none of what you have been taught in any of the religions regarding strictness of anything whatsoever, strictness of food, strictness of words, strictness of personality, strictness of clothing, strictness of everything, posture, all of it, it is all false. This is where discernment is most important, dear ones. This is all false. As dear Anubis once said to these two, deny the known. Deny the known in your own lives. Please deny all that you have ever been taught. Use your own intuitions, your own discernment, your own protection. You honor the oneness through your choice, through your words, through your lifestyle, through your creativity, through all of this. You honor the oneness by just being you. This is what I came in tonight to say. I give blessings to all on this call, and good night, everyone, and thank you. That, I do believe, is the strongest that he has ever come in. He normally leaves a little bit to where we're mostly fused personality-wise, but he came through incredibly strong this evening. So give me just a moment. So now we will see what Telnorskus wants. And I can see him waving his hand like a child, going, ha ha. So, okay. Let me see. To describe what Telnorskus looks like, everybody knows what Sasquatch purportedly looks like. He's a black coloring, like jet black coloring, a little bit of gray in his hair. If I had to judge height, he'd probably be over 10 feet. Oh, he said keep going, so that's about... oh, okay, I was wrong, about 12 to 13 feet. if he were in physical form. He has an ability as one of the elder class, which every being in existence has this ability. But as the elder class of the Anakim or Sasquatch people, he has the ability of molecular cellular solid, which translates to morphing from matter to energy in the layman. So, in this instance, he wishes... I know exactly what he's going to talk about. He was showing me flashes of a particular issue that pops up in the Sasquatch believer community quite often. So, give me just a moment. And here comes Telnorskus, who has a large grin on his face. All right. Dear ones, I, as you know, am what you people would call a Sasquatch. I do not take offense to this term at all. Bigfoot perturbs my people a little bit, but I won't get to that just now. In this instance, I wish to debate a while with the people out there that consider my people just a dumb wood ape. There are particular people at the moment, and you know who you are, Keegan Reed. This particular issue is one that you fervently and passionately speak about. This is the issue between dimensional being and dumb wood ape, as some humans have put my people. This is the most important issue. So, I will begin. Long ago, my people were indeed related to a primate species, but like yourselves, we are a composite. We are a composite species of many out there, even different energy realms and energy species throughout your quadrant. We are also made of starlight, like yourselves, dear humans. We are made of energy. We rain down on your world like the stars above. We are just as numerous, if not more so, than your own people. We are your brothers. We are your equals. We are not some people who stepped out of a cave millions of years ago. Oh no, dear brothers and sisters of humanity. No, 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 no. We are indeed your equals. We are the builder race of your ancient times. We helped supervise that of the Great Pyramid's construction. We oversaw Atlantis. We oversaw Lemuria. We oversaw the construction of Agartha itself. We oversaw many other things on your world that humans would see as fantasy and fiction alone. This is not the work of a dumb wood ape. Oh, no, 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 dear humanity, no, no. We are not some dumb wood ape. No, this is a concept you would call a program or a psyops, as some of you have deemed it to be. This particular issue I hold in most reverence. Normally, it would not matter whether or not one is right or one is wrong. But, in this instance, this is a show about discernment, is it not? So, I will continue. In ancient times, my people oversaw the continent you know of as ancient Lemuria. There were members of our society that were of the Council of Lemuria. Though this has been mentioned on other shows, I will repeat this information for this audience. In the ancient times of Lemuria, your human race was not necessarily in its infancy, but did not hold certain key power positions like my people once did. There was a king who sat on a mighty throne of Lemuria. His name has been lost to history. However, he was one king that you humans would call not quite all there in the head, because, in that respect, he suffered from a domineering complex, or egocentric complex. You see, this is also how my people and your people are similar. We have had these same issues with the mind and with the soul, and the same issues between dark and light. We have also overseen many other empires within your history, but in the respects to Lemuria, I can say I myself, my brother Kronoff, and the being you know of in your histories as the Monkey King, Hanuman, was also on this Council of Lemuria, along with several Pleiadians and several humans. and several Syrians, and so on and so forth. We attempted communications with Atlantis, which came second in history for all you history buffs out there. This was at first a futile effort, but through our efforts we were able to create a dialogue between both continents, to no avail, unfortunately, because that was close to the end of the fall of Atlantis. But as time went on, your race, human race, became much more violent and more prone to war on the surface of your world. Granted, this is not entirely your fault, but the Arconian and Draconian empires helped participate and cause a lot of this strife. But I digress in the finger pointing. In this instance, as time went on, my people attempted many times in your histories to create a dialogue with your people, and each time we were beaten back by humans that saw us as dumb animals and worthy of hanging a pelt on the wall of their hut, castle, house, or what have you. This was something that perturbed us greatly, so we had to withdraw back to what you know of as the underworld or the Agarthan network. In modern day, we have noticed certain schools of thought, such as your wood ape mentality, giving rise to this psyops. Your human cabal is using this to their advantage. So, in this instance, I can honestly say to all of you this evening, and all of you that will listen to the recording thereafter, my people are your equals. We can traverse matter and energy just like yourselves. You have abilities that are far more reaching, far more everlasting, far more immortal than you ever know at this moment. This is something that gives me great emotion and great tears to express, because I see a mighty species such as your own dwindling in certain areas, such as discernment, such as protection. We do not interfere because we see you as learning the most by running into these very obstacles. However, this does not mean that we cannot point out a few and throw them in your path where need be. Just know, my people, along with the other tribe that is more like your own people that have forgotten things over a period of time, they respond in stick glyphs, rocks, stones, and the like. Just know, all are your equals. They are not dumb wood apes, even though their language skills might be a little more limited than my own. They are not dumb, we are not dumb, you are not dumb. No one is dumb here, with the exception of those that give in to the, as you say, wood ape mentality. Granted, I do not mean dumb as a sense in what you mean. I mean the dumbing as in the energy that is causing them to experience something that is an untruth. I do not bash people in the slightest. This was not what I was getting at. I was talking about the energy that is causing some people to lose their way. This is what I referred to this evening. I thank you all for listening to me this evening. I will then withdraw. Thank you. Yes, all three of them came through very powerful this evening. Give me just a moment. All right. That was a very interesting set of channelings that came through this evening. I am now going to open this call up for questions, and we will take it to the end of the hour. So, let us see who is actually in the question and answer queue. And this looks to be, and Joanna will announce this.
Basically, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to ask a question, then just *6, and you'll be asked if you want to go into the queue, and we will bring people in the order that they ask their question.
All right, it looks like we do have a caller in the Q&A queue. I will now unmute this person. This person has a phone number ending in 0316. Her name is Diana. Diana, welcome to the lifting. Thank you for being on.
Hey, thanks. I I have two questions. May I ask them both, or do you want me to limit to one?
You can ask them both.
Okay. The first one was for Michael. When he was talking about the false channeling him, I was wondering if a majority of those were intentional by malevolent ones, or if a majority of them were intentional by people with good intentions, but due to the programming and their intuition, they're getting mixed messages about Michael.
Okay, that's actually a very good question. I believe it to be both, because you have channelers out there that do not intend harm in the slightest. They're just being tricked, and they believe wholeheartedly who they're speaking to. And then you have the flip side of it, where the tricksters out there are the malevolent ones. So there are also channelers out there and people that purport to be that are fakes, frauds, and malevolent people as well. So I believe it to be all of the above.
Okay. So that's what my intuition was saying. I was kind of feeling like but again, I did this kind of a test for my discernment. I was kind of feeling that there were more of the unintentional misgivings out there, false information than there were. To me, sometimes malevolent seems pretty obvious, and I don't know if that's just my intuition coming through, or the people trying to cause disinformation are not that good at what they do. But do you get a sense that there's a majority of one over the other? Again, I'm kind of trying to test my discernment there, because I was kind of getting that the majority of them were more the benevolent people, just getting incorrect information.
Yes, I believe the same as well. The majority are the ones being tricked, getting the incorrect information. Your intuition's dead on the mark. That's what I feel.
Okay. Thanks. And the other one was related to what Talnoskis was saying about the. I supposedly, if I understood correctly, he was saying that we humans have magnitude of gifts greater than his species, and that we don't even realize that. Well, my question is then, how can we learn to tap into these gifts and utilize them? Is this something that someone else can teach us? What must we solely get from our intuition, or is it a combination of there are benevolent beings out there that will help us as we also use our intuition?
I believe it's a combination of both. We're learning as we go along. We're using our own intuition. We're using our own soul, our own God source, our own God light. But there also are those teachers out there, like Talnoskis, Michael, Simeon, Jesus, all of them, that will be more than happy to teach us. But in this new energy, as I've said in shows past, this is more of a 50-50 deal with the guides.
Mm-hmm.
They teach, and they are also learning as they go along. I came to find out as of last night that I'm throwing Michael into the bus a little bit here, but I came to find out he is only 7th density. His children are 19th density, because he taught them how to be better than they were at the time. They entered this cycle down here on Earth, and they surpassed him in practically every way. According to them, they passed him in every way, but they were throwing him under the bus at the time as well. But that's what that particular soul group told me, that they actually got to 19th density, and that Michael was only sitting at 7th.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, then when it comes to teachers, when we utilize our discernment, should we utilize what I think Joanna might have been talking about earlier? Are we discerning the individual message that they teach us, so that we discern whether the person claiming to help us to teach us is really benevolent, or should we be discerning more the energy of the being that's coming to us, saying, yeah, I'll help you with that? Does that make
Hey,
sense?
this is Joanna. So I'll take this one. It's
both.
both. It's
Okay.
So, but what it is that I think when a lot of times, again, like I was saying, people are at that level where they're at the level where it's just do I believe this person or energy, right? And let me get a feel of it. It's a generalized umbrella statement, and then I'm just going to then decide I believe it or not. And then people tend to get a little bit lazy because believe it or not, especially if it's another being or something. I mean, negative. You could be in the middle of a sentence with somebody, and then in three sentences, all of a sudden another being has hijacked. I mean, we have literally seen in our experience something literally stuck in front of something else. And so the concept is that you want to enhance your discernment skills, and you're constantly taking in the information and constantly deciding the messaging. Because it's going to really the bottom line is it's really not about delivering what you in the conversation. It's really what is the information you're sending my way, and how do I feel about that, right? What I would concerned about the message, not about the messenger. Okay. And so because messengers get hijacked a lot. And so if you're able to do that, then you can literally enjoy listening to anyone. Because you're not going to be about, who is it that I'm listening to. It's going to be what are they saying, and how do I feel about what they say. Do you see what I mean? And take it on that level. That's the enhanced discernment side. That's where you want to go. But a combination of them both, and not allowing yourself to get a little lazy about it, because you just either accepted or disposed of the messenger.
It is ongoing, isn't it, when it comes to discerning the message? Because we're getting information thrown at us constantly.
Yes. So that's the whole concept about why we actually want to spend so much time on these first few subjects, authenticity, protection, and discernment, because it truly is so fundamental to you walking your path every single day, all the time. It's not something where you reach and you're done. So you're always enhancing your knowledge. Thus you're always trying to understand more. Thus you're always working on your discernment, because that's actually what discernment means in the basics of the sense of the word, is your understanding. So you're constantly working on collecting more information and what do I feel about that. But again, it's also the constant of protection, because some of those misnomers about reaching the certain plateau and being done, that actually is a misnomer. We're not done. We're not going to be done. We're going to move constantly move on. And even at the level that some of the people that are being channeled, they're still learning too. They're still on their journey learning constantly as well. So it's just all about this is what it this is the infrastructure. This is how it goes. This is what's really going on. And it's really interesting. And we just encourage everybody to just accept this is just the way it is, and build those skills. Okay. All right. Well, thank you both for answering my questions. I appreciate that. Thank you both for doing the show tonight. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Diane. Thank you very much.
You bet.
There is one thing that I was hoping to jump in here and to actually talk about and request to have strength and energy to ask for one other person to come into the conversation. And it really, we were having a conversation one night with Anubis, and we were exploring basically some information about our Christianized history together, and trying to have some understanding of some vision, different things that we were experiencing. And it led into this conversation information about the world around us, what's been said, and how basically the victors have written history, and then that's when Anubis basically was explaining to us and had basically said, deny the known. Which is really, and again, we just said again tonight by Simeon. And I think that it's a huge concept to even begin to take in, deny absolutely everything. And Simeon was saying, kind of go from within and reestablish and rethink, and don't take anything for granted, start again. So I was really wondering if maybe if he's available, that Anubis would come in, because he's the one who started that conversation several months back with us. So is Anubis here?
Let's see. Yeah, as soon as you said his name, he showed up. So, let me see. We may have to extend this show just a little bit. So, let me see. I'll bring him through, and then we'll see if there's a couple more questions left, and then I'll give the blessing. Let's see what he... okay. Yeah, he's coming in. I gotta make sure it's him. Okay. Greetings, all of you here this evening. My name, as you know, is Anubis. I am of a species known as the Antiqua, or the Portal Guardians in your history. As I've said in many past shows, that my people end up spawning all sorts of odd creatures in your histories, all sorts of manner of being that we wanted to be our children. So, I will say this about your histories. I, of course, was in your period known as Ancient Egypt. I will also note that there is much to be discerned about this particular period. Any of the known history that you know, even from your most cherished deities such as Isis and Osiris, are not exactly true in your histories. The very reason I came up with the phrase, deny the known, is because the very history, especially surrounding those events, is indeed a psyops, as you would call it. The very events were this, in a nutshell. There was peace and prosperity once in that kingdom. That is correct. However, there was a darkness that came, as you would say, rolling in to this system, and therefore corrupted that very kingdom, very much in some of the ways that certain psyopses are operating today, where people began to suspect each other of stupid and unethical things. People began to become paranoid. People began to bicker with each other and lie and deceive each other, very much like in your own society today. This is how it began. This is what ended up also raining some of the darkness down on Egypt. This is how the people of Egypt became corrupted in that particular day and age. I will not go into the entire history because there is not enough time in a day to tell and share all of the history that happened moment to moment, day to day, word for word, and person to person. But I can honestly say the history that you know of, you must discern over. I will give one and only one example. Then I will expect each person to discern and see for themselves. The Eye of Horus that you so cherish in your history, that symbol that you see plastered all over the place in your histories, associated with the myth of Horus losing his eye to the evil Seth, or Set. Both are the one and the same, by the way. It couldn't be any further from the truth. Set was my friend, brother, and all-around good person. He was not the god of evil that is reported in your myths. This was created by archons and Draco and artificial intelligence spheres and the like. The Horus that lost his eye was of the evil line, the green ones that had reptilian DNA scattered throughout their veins. Granted, there are good races of reptilians, but I digress. Horus, the one that lost his eye, and the one that the symbol is portrayed of. This is a falsehood. This symbol was born of a false history, was born of a false man, a false idealism, and a false indignation. This is not something that should be spread around. Think of that eye of Horus no different than you would view your Nazi swastika, because there are more similarities within your Nazi history and your ancient Egyptian history than humans care to admit in the current day. This is what I came to say, so I will reiterate once more. Deny the known. Thank you. All right. That was another strong one this evening. So, I will now open this up to anyone who has questions. Dial *6, and when prompted, press 1. You will end up in the Q&A queue. I will give some people a moment to get into the queue. And if we get no further questions this evening, we will end the show with a blessing and a few announcements. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing anyone new in the Q&A queue. I will give one more moment. If you have anything else to add at the moment, Joanna, while we wait for someone.
No, I hope everyone has found this conversation useful. I think again, it's going to take us all some time to really sit back and understand our all-important role in taking control over everything, over our own sense of protection coming from within, over our own responsibility to see the world in a way that makes it understandable for us as individuals, and stop relying on the outside world, which is what we've been doing historically here lately, to feed us externally, because it's all going to have to come from within us. So I just encourage everybody to be able to start taking some time to think about this, and having those few quiet moments just to think about this, be it in the car, driving one place or another. But you need to fight against some of all of this external distraction and take it within, and just start mulling it around, and then just ask for guidance, and you really will feel that you're starting to really take hold and be the captain of your own ship. So that's about all I have to say about it.
All right. That is fantastic. I don't see that anybody else has put themselves into the queue. So I thank everyone for listening this evening to The Lifting. I will end this with an affirmation and blessing, and with a few announcements. This blessing is from Simeon himself. May all be able to discern the world around them, and may all be at peace with the coming changes to society at large. All are blessed. All are one. Thanks for joining us. Let me end this with just a few announcements. First, we would like to send our condolences to the family of Julian Wells. As many of you know, Julian passed this week. He was an amazing individual and inspired many to improve their own lives and reach for the stars. Joanna and I both enjoyed listening to his shows, and he also inspired us to do what we are doing now. He will always have a place in our hearts. This show will be able to replay as soon as it is finished by calling the free conference call replay number of 712-775-7039. All shows will be posted on the Lifting website. Please watch for our weekly blog. We will post a new blog every Monday and discuss it further on Tuesday's show. If you have questions after the show, please forward them to thelifting2017@gmail.com. Every other Thursday, starting this Thursday, January 19th, we will have a viewer's question show. We will choose questions from the audience to answer here. Depending on volume, we cannot guarantee we can answer all questions. If we notice a similar question being asked from multiple persons, we will also add the question and answer to the FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions tab. You can also schedule a personal reading from me or my mother, Katrina, by going to the website and clicking into the Appointment tab. Right now, I am filling appointments for March. Please be advised that due to the nature of what I do and the energy it takes to conduct a session, since I do bilocate, I normally only do one reading per day. I'm working with my guides to increase my abilities. I will start to offer a few more reads a week. I will be reaching out to people who have already booked a session to see if they would like to move up. I will need rest periods between reads. And so, the best I can do is offer a morning or late afternoon time slot that is currently from the U.S. and Eastern Standard Time. I understand this may not be convenient for all, and I will take occasional exceptions in extreme circumstances. But understand, there is only one of me, and my skills are not unlimited. Please work with me. This is how I make a living. So it will be important to confirm these appointments several weeks out. Session costs are $125 for 1 hour and $200 for 2 hours. I will not go over a 2-hour reading in one session. Starting February 1st, the method of confirming the appointment will be by a $50 non-refundable deposit due 2 weeks prior to the scheduled appointment. If this deposit does not occur, the appointment will be canceled and then I will fill it with another client. If you need to cancel at any time, you are certainly free to schedule another time. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on The Lifting. We look forward to chatting with you again this Thursday, January 19th. Thank you, everyone. Good night.